Let's be brutally honest for a second. Being a stepdad in today's dating world often feels like signing up to be a full-time employee, with no paycheck, no benefits, and zero appreciation. You're expected to step in like a superhero, but you're treated like a side character. The harsh truth? A lot of men are waking up to what's really going on and quietly walking away from the stepdad trap. More and more guys are asking, should men date single mothers at all? And not because they're heartless or immature, but because they've seen the patterns. Dating single moms often means inheriting responsibilities without receiving the respect, love, or loyalty that should come with them. You're raising someone else's kid, footing bills, sacrificing time, and still being treated like you're disposable. That's not just unfair, it's dangerous to your self-worth, finances, and future. But here's the twist. There's a smarter way to approach all this. You don't have to fall into the same traps. You don't have to end up another guy with a drained bank account, bruised ego, and custody battle scars over kids that aren't even yours. In this video, we're unpacking the cold, uncomfortable, but vital truths behind the stepdad dilemma, from the red flags to the legal risks, from relationship dynamics to how high-value men are navigating these modern dating minefields. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear might just save you years of pain. The illusion of instant family. Why men get hooked too fast. It starts innocently enough. You meet a single mom. She's kind, nurturing, maybe even more mature than the women you've dated before. There's this ready-made family setup that seems comforting. She's got responsibilities, routines, and a soft spot for a guy who steps up. But here's the kicker. Most men mistake this situation for emotional stability. They think they're building something real, but in reality, they're stepping into a role that was never designed with them in mind. This is where the stepdad trap quietly begins. The connection with the kid feels good. It fills that primal masculine urge to protect, provide, and be needed. But what many men don't realize is this. Emotional bonding with the child doesn't guarantee security in the relationship. In fact, you could be replaced tomorrow and lose both her and the child you grew to love. It's a painful lesson many guys learn too late, especially those unfamiliar with the dating and family court risks that come with this setup. And here's the brutal truth. Some women do use their child to fast-track intimacy. It's not always malicious, but it can blur boundaries fast. You're suddenly playing dad without fully understanding the rules. And when things go south, it's not just a breakup, it's an emotional wrecking ball. This is why men's perspective on single moms has shifted. They're not heartless, they're cautious. But most guys won't see the trap until they're knee-deep in it. And that's when the pressure starts to build from all directions. All the responsibility, none of the authority, the stepdad's powerless position. Here's what they don't tell you when you start dating a single mom. You're expected to take on a father's duties, but without a father's rights. You're driving the kid to school, buying groceries, maybe even helping with homework. But the moment you try to implement rules, set boundaries, or discipline, you hear it. You're not their real dad. And just like that, your role is reduced to a glorified babysitter with a wallet. This is the heart of the stepdad problems most men never see coming. Imagine being in a house where you're financially contributing, emotionally investing, and time-wise committed. But your decisions mean nothing. You don't get final say on anything that matters. You can't decide on the kid's schooling, diet, bedtime, or even screen time without the bio dad or mom overriding you. The stepfather role explained in real life isn't some noble badge of honor. It's often a frustrating juggling act where the man is always one emotional landmine away from being pushed out. And here's the kicker. If the relationship ends, you're not just out of the picture. You're legally invisible. No visitation rights, no recognition, just memories and emotional damage. This is why male dating advice often screams, avoid single moms dating. Not because of hate, but because men have seen how the system, both emotional and legal, stacks the odds against them. Yet despite all this, many still cling to the hope that if they just try harder, they'll earn that elusive respect. But that's where things usually get worse, not better. The respect deficit. Why stepping up often backfires. Here's a harsh truth most men learn the hard way. Being nice doesn't guarantee respect. In fact, in modern dating dynamics, especially with single mothers, it can have the opposite effect. Many guys go in with the best intentions. They step up, pay for everything, help with the kids, stay loyal. But over time, that very effort starts getting taken for granted. Instead of earning admiration, they end up being seen as convenient, even weak. It's not fair, but it's real. You've probably heard the phrase high-value men dating. These are the men who figured it out. They know that respect must come before responsibility. They don't invest in someone else's life without clear standards, boundaries, and mutual appreciation. But most men raised on outdated notions of masculinity still believe that if you just love hard enough, she'll see your worth. Problem is, in the world of modern women dating struggles, emotional labor often gets overlooked unless it's wrapped in challenge, not submission. And this isn't about blaming single mothers. It's about understanding how relationship dynamics have shifted. A man who overinvests too soon is often seen as replaceable, while the guy who keeps his emotional distance, ironically, he's the one who sparks desire. It's backwards, yes, but that's modern dating red flags in action. If men don't learn this early, they end up stuck in a loop of trying harder while being respected less. And that's where frustration turns into quiet resentment. Emotional baggage and loyalty, confusion, navigating the ghosts of her past. Let's talk about something most men don't know how to handle until it's too late: emotional leftovers. When you're dating a single mom, you're not just dealing with her, you're dealing with the lingering presence of the child's father, past heartbreaks, unresolved traumas, and family court entanglements. Even if she says she's over him, the emotional residue often seeps into your relationship. Whether it's co-parenting arguments, late-night texts about the kid, or sudden mood swings tied to past wounds, you're constantly competing with a shadow. What makes this even more complicated is the loyalty confusion that creeps in. You might feel like you're giving her more than her ex ever did, more attention, more love, more effort, but her emotional loyalty may still tilt toward the father of her child. It's not intentional, but it's real. And when conflict arises, many men are shocked to find out that instead of being defended, they're left hanging. This is one of the core reasons behind single mother relationship problems, and why many childless men dating advice forums warn about this in bold red letters. Here's where it gets personal. If you're constantly walking on eggshells, wondering if your place in her life is secure, that's not love. That's emotional debt. You're paying the price for a past you had nothing to do with. And even worse, her child may be the daily reminder of a man who still has some degree of control or influence in her life. That creates tension you can't fix, only manage. And if you're not careful, that tension slowly starts to bleed into your own self-worth, leading directly into the final, most dangerous layer of the trap. The legal and financial time bomb, what most men never see coming. Here's the final punch most men never expect, and it hits the hardest. You date a single mom, things get serious, maybe you move in, maybe even get married. Suddenly, you're not just part of her life, you're tied to it legally. And here's the nightmare scenario. If you act as a father figure long enough, some states might actually treat you like one legally, even if the child isn't biologically yours. We're talking child support obligations, family court risks, and legal responsibilities, all without a biological bond. Think about that. A relationship doesn't work out, and now you're in court explaining your bond with a child that isn't yours. Judges have ruled in favor of moms before, saying, well, he acted like a father, so he should pay like one. You were never married to the mom? Doesn't always matter. In some cases, courts look at how long you were around and what role you played. That's not love. That's a ticking financial grenade. This is why red pill dating advice and male dating standards are sounding alarms for men who blindly walk into these situations. And while you might think, that won't happen to me, every guy who got wrecked by this thought the same thing. If you want to build a future, it has to start with protecting your present. Know your legal rights. If you're dating a single mom, talk to a family law attorney before moving in. Set boundaries and agreements in writing. Because when emotions run high and things fall apart, logic goes out the window. And the system? It won't be on your side. But this isn't about fear. It's about finally understanding how to move forward smarter. Now that you've seen the full picture, the emotional weight, the authority void, the respect issues, the lingering past, and the legal traps, You've got a choice to make. Are you going to walk blindfolded into a situation that could cost you years of your life, your peace of mind, and even your bank account? Or are you going to be one of the few men who actually gets it, who learns, adjusts, and moves through this modern dating minefield with wisdom and strength? This isn't about bashing single moms. It's about protecting yourself. It's about knowing when to say no, when to say not yet, and when to ask the right questions before making the wrong commitments. You now have the knowledge most men don't. So, what will you do with it? Will you keep chasing validation in situations designed to strip you of value? Or will you raise your standards, protect your time, and demand respect before giving effort? If this opened your eyes, even just a little, don't keep this to yourself. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join a growing community of men who are done falling into the same traps. Drop a comment below. What's your experience with dating single moms? Did this video hit a nerve? Let's talk about it. Because the more we speak up, the more power we take back.